Welcome to the on-road invoicing process. This tutorial is focused on light-duty and on-road motorcycles. My name is Kathleen Mead, and I'm going to provide you with a quick overview of the invoicing and payment history and process. In 2018 and 2019, the legislature provided CARB with the new authority to assess fees for certification and compliance activities for non-on-road products such as lawn mowers, aftermarket parts, off-road equipment, and evaporative components. Also, the legislature lifted the cap from the existing fee structure assessed on the on-road cars, trucks, and most motorcycles. Starting in 2019, CARB staff worked with the affected manufacturers to create a fee structure which was adopted by our board in April 2021. The new fee structure requires an upfront fee at the time of product application. There are 35 different categories organized in 6 different certification groups. This tutorial focuses on the light duty and motorcycle certification group. To read the regulations, please go to our webpage shown here. The regulation was approved by the Office of Administrative Law on April 18th of this year and will go into effect on April 1st. All applications received April 1st and later will require the correct upfront fee prior to CARB staff evaluating the product application. So, how do you pay the fee? The fee payment process is a 4-step process: obtaining a fiscal account, creating and finalizing your invoice, making the payment, and submittal of payment documents with your application. On March 8th, I provided a workshop that walked through the details of Step 1, 3, and 4, seen on this slide. This focused tutorial will provide more details on your certification group requirements, such as creating the draft invoice and defining each category type and fee type for this group. For more information on the complete process, please review the March 8th workshop or go to our webpage shown on the slide. As previously stated, this tutorial focuses on how to create a draft invoice required for the invoicing process. The details of the step-by-step process are outlined in the March 8th workshop, and a recording of that workshop is provided on our webpage. For a quick review of the overall invoicing process, there are 3 steps. First, the manufacturer, or you, go to our website, select the correct draft invoice for your focus group, and create a draft invoice. Second, you email the draft invoice to mscertfees@arb.ca.gov, ensuring that you follow the instructions listed on this slide. Lastly, CARB staff will create and then email back to you the final invoice. You use the invoice number and total payment for Step 3 and 4 of the invoicing and payment process. Again, please review the March 8th workshop or visit our webpage for detailed instructions. Now, I will hand the reins over to your focus group specialist to provide you with the information you need to fill out your draft invoice.
Hi, my name is Hussein Chamouni, and I will discuss the process of creating a draft invoice form for light-duty vehicles and motorcycles. On the CARB Certification and Compliance Fees webpage, please select the appropriate draft invoice form for your application. Since this tutorial covers on-road vehicles, we will look at the on-road draft invoice form. Here we see the on-road draft invoice form. There are 3 areas for critical information. The areas are the company information, the application information, the final signature and total due to CARB. We will now review the information needed for each section. Here we need the company information such as the company name, address, contact name, and information associated with the application. Please note the top two sections outlined in red, these are for CARB use only. Do not fill in the invoice number and do not fill in the invoice date. CARB will provide this information. Use the fiscal account number supplied to you by CARB. Please note the parent company name, address, and payment contact may be different in the fiscal account than the application contact. If you do not know your fiscal account number, please contact your assigned certification representative. Here we see the application information section. As you can see, there are columns for the product description, calendar year, unique application identifier, category type, fee type, and amount. We will cover the process of filling out the information for these columns in the next few slides. Multiple applications within each certification group can be listed in one invoice. Please note that you cannot add applications from different certification groups. For example, you cannot include off-road engine families in the on-road draft invoice form. Now we will be discussing some of the requirements for the on-road draft invoice form. For the product description or file name, please use the file name in the document management system that is associated with the application that you will be submitting to CARB. In other words, the file name on this form should match the file name found on the DMS submission. For the model year or calendar year, provide the model year or calendar year for which the application is submitted, such as model year 2023 or calendar year 2022. On the fourth column, we see the unique application identifier. For each vehicle category, there is a unique application identifier. For example, for a light-duty application, the unique application identifier is the test group name, whereas the SPMV manufacturer application, the unique application identifier is shown here. Details on test group and engine family naming conventions can be found on the URL shown here. The category type drop-down menu has three sections. Section A, on-road light-duty vehicles and motorcycles. Section B, heavy-duty engines, evaporative systems, exempt engines, and fuel-fired heaters. And Section C, heavy-duty greenhouse gas. Next, we will discuss the 6 category types under the light-duty certification program. For categories in Sections B and C, please review the heavy-duty engine, vehicle, and GHG tutorial. The on-road light-duty vehicles and motorcycles categories are found under Section A. The application submission must match one of these category and fee types. Definitions for category and fee types can be found in Title 13 CCR, Section 2901 and 2903. Here we see the 6 category types for on-road light-duty vehicles and motorcycles. We will now look at each category type. The light-duty and medium-duty vehicle test group category type is applicable to vehicles under the LEV 3 and ZEV program. Under this category type, there are 4 fee types: base, partial carryover, carryover, and zero emission. In the on-road draft invoice form, there are 4 fee types that are found in the drop-down menu. Select the appropriate fee type for the application. Please note that delays in processing your application will occur if your application does not qualify for the fee type selected. The base fee is applicable to all applicants seeking certification or evaluation that do not qualify for a reduced cost certification fee. Reduced cost fees are shown here. A manufacturer may choose a carryover fee type if the application is identical to the previous model year's application, except for the items listed on this slide. Please refer to the mail-out eCars 15-07 linked here for the process to submit a carryover application. The partial carryover fee is applicable to those applications that are identical to the previous model year's application that resulted in the issuance of a certification, except for one or more of the following listed below. This list is continued on the next slide. Here we see the continued list. For more details, please reference mail-out eCars 15-07, which can be found in the URL below. The zero emission fee type is applicable for light-duty ZEVs. Please note that the zero emission fee type cannot be combined with another fee type. The specially constructed vehicle certified engine package category type is applicable to certified engine packages as defined in Title 13 CCR Section 2211, subsection A3. Under this category type, there are 4 fee types which are listed below. Here we see the on-road draft invoice form with the SPCNS certified engine package category type selected. The 4 applicable fee types are listed in the fee type drop-down menu. The SPCNS certified engine package extension category type is applicable to certified engine packages as defined in Title 13, Section 2209.2, subsection B. For an SPCNS certified engine package, only the base fee applies. Here we see the on-road draft invoice with the SPCNS certified engine package extension category type selected. Only the base fee is listed in the fee type drop-down menu. The specially produced motor vehicle certified engine package category type is applicable to certified engine packages as defined in Title 13 CCR Section 2209.1. Under this category type, there are 4 fee types which are listed below. Here we see the on-road draft invoice form with the SPMV certified engine package category type selected. The 4 applicable fee types, which were discussed on slides 18 through 23, are listed in the fee type drop-down menu. The specially produced motor vehicle manufacturer category type is applicable to vehicle manufacturers using SPMV certified engine packages. For the SPMV manufacturer category type, only the base fee applies. Here we see the on-road draft invoice form with the SPMV manufacturer category type selected. We can see the base fee is listed in the fee type drop-down menu. The street use motorcycle and motorcycle engine family category type is applicable to motorcycles or motorcycle engines, subject to the requirements of Title 13 CCR Section 1958. Under this category type, there are 5 applicable fee types, which are listed below. Here we see the on-road draft invoice form with the on-road motorcycle and motorcycle engine category type selected. The 5 applicable fee types are listed in the fee types drop-down menu. The low California production manufacturer category type is for a motorcycle manufacturer that produces 300 or less on-road motorcycles or on-road motorcycle engines for a California sale annually, averaged over 3 previous consecutive model years. The low California production for sale engine family category type is for engine families with a projected production of 100 units or less. This category is limited to 3 engine families for those manufacturers whose average annual production is over 2,500 units. The limit is increased to 6 engine families for those manufacturers whose average annual production is 2,500 units or less. The average annual production is based on the 3 previous consecutive model years. Use of this fee type is subject to year-end validation and fee adjustment as applicable. Please note, a manufacturer that uses the low California production for sale motorcycle engine family fee type may not use the low California production motorcycle manufacturer fee type for any application within the same model year. After filling out all the information on the invoice form except for the invoice number and invoice date, save the draft invoice for your records. Email the draft invoice to mscertfees@arb.ca.gov. Please note, if the total listed on the on-road draft invoice is 0, please do not submit the draft invoice. In 1 to 2 business days, CARB staff will return your email with a PDF of the final invoice with the invoice number and date applied. To prevent additional delays, do not pay your fees until 5 days after receipt of your final invoice. Wait 5 business days after receiving your final invoice. Include your invoice number with your payment. For payments, go to this website shown here. Send an email to your assigned certification staff that your payment has been made. Include your invoice number and amount. This alerts the certification staff to look for the confirmation of your payment in our internal documents. The fee structure is set up as an upfront fee due at the time that the application is submitted. The correct fee amount must be received by CARB prior to the review or processing of the application. If a manufacturer uses a discounted fee that is based on the low volume production limit and the volume limit is exceeded, future applications will not be processed until the correct fee is paid. This is a reminder so that you can avoid delays in the processing of your application. For the on-road certification group fee categories, please include final invoice on the first page of the application and submit the application to DMS. If an application does not match the fee type selected, the application processing ceases until fee invoice or underpayment is corrected. For end-of-year production reporting, future application processing ceases until the remainder of the fee is paid. As a reminder, this 30-day application review starts from the date the application was submitted into DMS. For more information, contact your CARB assigned certification staff. You can also go on our website at the URL shown here, or email us at mscertfees@arb.ca.gov. Include in your email header the nature of your inquiry and your category type in parentheses.